What's up guys, how are you guys doing? In this video, I want to talk to you guys about what to farm for Tenebria and Faye, okay? Both of them got teased in the live stream that happened earlier, okay? I didn't do any video on it because I wasn't available during that time, but I think I don't need to do any more video for it because again, you guys probably know what happened in the live stream because there's a lot of other CCs who already made content on it and kind of inform everyone about it, okay? But in this video, we're going to be talking about Tenebria and Faye specifically, and I do want to talk to you guys a little about Adelheid, okay? And some of the combos you guys can do with her, okay? Her kit seems pretty fun, I'm not gonna lie, okay? But let's get to the pre-farm video first, and then we're gonna talk about Adelheid, okay? So, for the pre-farm stuff, you guys already know, right? You definitely want to farm a bunch of these combat XP materials because again, you're gonna need a lot of materials, okay? Both Tenebria, Adelheid, and Faye, they are coming back to back, right? Adelheid is going to be the first character. That's going to be coming up after the maintenance today, and then Tenebria is going to be coming next on June, and then you got Faye coming on July. Okay, so yeah, just keep that in mind. Okay, so there's a lot of things you guys need to keep in mind, and you guys going to need a lot of resources. Okay, try if you guys are like trying to build them and are going for all three of them. Okay, so yeah, definitely make sure to farm the combat XP right here. And then for the ascension materials, Tenebria, she's gonna be a Passion Psionic type, which is actually freaking amazing, right? I love more Psionic characters, okay, in the game, right? Psionic characters are pretty cool, man. So yeah, I'm glad that we are getting another one. So she's gonna be a Psionic type, so definitely make sure to farm this. You guys got a lot of time, to farm this, so definitely make sure to do so, okay? And then for Faye, she's going to be a Ranger class, which is interesting, right? She's going to be a Ranger class, and she's going to be Void typing, okay? Void attribute. So make sure to farm your Ranger manual right here, okay? So yeah, from what we know, she's going to be Void Ranger, and then Tenebria is going to be a Passion Psionic type, okay? So just make sure to do that right here. Of course, I got a little bit of the resources right here, right? I got 34 of them, but I definitely need to farm a little bit more here. Same goes for the Psionic manual right here because I don't have a lot at the moment, right? So yeah, definitely make sure to do that right here. And same with the partner, right? You want to farm the Ranger manual right here, right, for the partners, and also go for the Psionic right here if you guys are planning to go for both of their partner, okay? If you guys are not planning to go for both of their partner, then you guys don't need to do any of this, right? Because you already have, like, if you are planning to use existent like partner in your account, then yeah, definitely you guys can skip farming the partner material right here, okay? And then for potential, like I said, Faye is gonna be Void type, so definitely farm a bunch of these Void materials right here. And for Tenebria, she's gonna be a Passion character, so definitely make sure to farm this, okay? You guys probably have leftovers from Hydemari and like Diana's, right? So yeah, just farm a little bit more of these because yeah, you're gonna need a lot of potential materials right here, okay? So yeah, definitely Void and Passion for Tenebria as well, okay? And for memory fragment, I think you guys can actually farm memory fragment for them right now, okay? The reason I say that is both Tenebria and I think Faye, they probably gonna utilize these guys right here, okay? So when Passion or Void, so both are like Passion and Void, right? So when a Passion or Void attribute attack card of this unit is discarded, 50% critical chance, right? Especially for Faye, she is a type of character who is actually able to create cards inside the discard pile and activate them through that, okay? So she's very, very interesting, and I think this gear specifically gonna be very effective with Faye especially, right? I think Tenebria, she might also work similar with this gear right here, okay? She might have some way of like discarding cards or and stuff like that, right, in order to do her damage or to utilize her cards. So I think this might be a really good one for Tenebria as well, but I'm not sure because we don't know a lot about Tenebria. We know a little about Faye because she already was revealed in the Chinese server, okay? So we know a little bit about Faye, so I think Faye, she's gonna be very good with this gear specifically, right? For Tenebria, I'm not sure, right? I think of course this counter set is probably going to be pretty decent for Adelheid because again, Adelheid does have a counter effect on one of her epiphanies, but I would not recommend building Adelheid with a counter set. So definitely, man, you guys can't skip building this on the Adelheid. But this specific gear right here is going to be really good for both Tenebria and Faye, I think, right? So just keep that in mind, okay? Or they might just do a weird thing where she might be another new character that works with Agni. So you know, if they are planning to add more Agni characters, and I think the Agni set, like the two Agni set, will be really good, right? Right, this thing right here. I mean, this one right here, okay? The Cursed Corpse set right here, right? Pretty decent, right? Increased damage dealt to target inflicted with Agni by 10%. It's kind of weird that, you know, we have not gotten a single character that works off of Agni so far, okay? Until now, still now, okay? So it's kind of crazy that only Teresa is actually an Agni specific character. So I hope they add more characters to the game that work off of Agni. Of course, with the Agni nerf, I don't know how effective that's gonna be, but I think it could be pretty cool, right? But another set you guys might want to keep in mind for what's her name, Tenebria, is this set, probably the Passion set. Does when an upgrade card is used, increase damage amount of Passion cards by 20%. This could be really good for her as well. But I think since we don't know a lot about Tenebria, I would say hold off on like building trying to farm gear for Tenebria. I think definitely you guys can focus on farming this specific set right here, okay, for Faye, because I'm pretty sure Faye will work really well with this set specifically, right? It's a newer set, and they like to specify like a newer character toward like a newer gear they added to the game. So, and this is a newer gear that came out to the game, right? So I think, yeah, Faye is gonna be really good with this specific set, but I'm not sure about Tenebria, right? But yeah, just keep that in mind, okay? Of course, you're gonna need both of these potential material as well, right? In order to max their potential and stuff like that. So yeah, just keep that in mind, okay? So there's a lot of things to farm, and of course, you're gonna need a lot of gold. Yeah, you're gonna need a bunch of gold. I don't have a lot of gold, unfortunately. I only have like 2 million gold at the moment, so yeah, it's gonna be quite difficult to get enough gold to build all three of them, because I am definitely gonna go for all three of them. Of course, we're gonna get the maintenance right here, so I don't know, right? It's gonna be tough for me, but we'll see, right? Hopefully you guys have like better or a good amount of gold in your account, better than my account. So hopefully you guys are chilling on the gold side, because gold is kind of annoying to farm in this game, okay? Anyway, so that's it for the pre-farm video. Now I want to talk to you guys about Adelheid a little bit, okay? So when you come to Adelheid, okay, so far, right, her kit is very simple, right? I like what she got going on. I'm not gonna lie, right? I think she probably gonna be one of the best Vanguard character in the game, right? Especially because she provides with she provides you with so many like shielding capability. It's kind of crazy actually. So I think she's gonna be really good, dedicated Vanguard character. If you guys are planning to, if you guys are struggling with the content and stuff like that, I think she's gonna make it a lot easier to go through contents, okay? Especially in like story and tower mode, she's gonna be really good, okay? That's my initial thought on Adelheid, okay? But the one thing I want to talk to you guys about is I initially didn't think she was gonna work with Heidmari that much, but after seeing all of her epiphanies, she actually is really good with Heidmari, okay? The reason I'm saying this is because a couple of her epiphanies, okay? We're not gonna talk about her entire kit. You guys probably already know what she does, but I kind of want to talk to you guys about some of the synergies you guys can do with her, okay? So the first thing is her grace, like once upon a time card right here. This is one of her main way of drawing cards, and also applying like blessing to those cards is actually really good. But the one thing I want to talk to you guys about is the first epiphany, is the fifth epiphany right here, the one that says when a card is created, apply blessing 5 times per turn. Okay, this thing is actually really good, especially with any character that's able to create a bunch of bullet cards. Okay, so bullet spammers, I think they're gonna like this build really nicely. Okay, because every time they create their bullet cards, she actually gonna be providing them with a blessing on those cards. Okay, and yeah, you're gonna be chilling on that one, okay? This is gonna be a lot easier to get blessing with a specific team, okay? With a bullet spammer team. Yeah, this epiphany is gonna be really effective, okay? Another one is the one that says select and draw one from draw pile and then apply blessing to those cards. This is actually really good as well, because it does have initiation on it as well, and it is an exhaust card. But the one thing I like about it is it actually lets you select a specific card from your draw pile and actually draw them and apply and also apply like blessing to it, right? And of course, blessing pretty much lets you get even more shield, okay? With her kit, okay? If you have more blessing, you're gonna be getting even more shield, which is pretty cool. So just having this right here is really good, especially with the initiation effect on it. And it's a 0 cost card that lets you select a specific card from the draw pile and draw it with a blessing effect. That's actually pretty good, man. Yeah, her epiphany, her second epiphany and her fifth epiphany, I do like them a lot actually. And another one, right, is the Once Upon a Time third Epiphany. Okay, this is one of those Epiphanies that will work really well with Hyde Mari. Okay, so what it does is it will discard one card and they will apply Blessing to 3 random cards of the combatant who owns the discarded card. This is an amazing effect right here. Okay, so if you are using it with Hyde Mari and you discard one of her cards, right? One of Hyde Mari cards, you're gonna be applying the Blessing to all of her Effulgent Blade, right? Possibly, right? Or all of her other cards, okay? Her attack cards, yeah. Her like Sword Ring card, right? Her Thresh of Time card, right? That lets you, like, you know what I'm saying, do a bunch of damage, and yeah, you'll be able to apply a Blessing to those cards. It's actually really good, right? It will apply Blessing to 3 random cards, right? Which is amazing, right? And all of Hyde Mari cards are actually broken, so the fact that this thing applies to 3 random cards of Hyde Mari, right, once you discard it, is actually amazing. So I think the first build I want to try with her is with Hyde Mari. Okay, so this is the Epiphany I'm gonna go with. Okay, with the one that lets me discard a card and apply a Blessing to 3 random cards of the combatant who owns the discarded card. Okay, so I'm definitely gonna go for this Epiphany specifically and see how it works with Hyde Mari. I think it's gonna be really good with Hyde Mari, in my opinion. So yeah, very good right here. And the 5th Epiphany can actually work really well with Hyde Mari as well, right? Because again, Hyde Mari is able to create Effulgent Blaze, and so when that happens, is what happens is when a card is created, apply Blessing, right, 5 times per turn, right? So every time she creates Effulgent Blade, you are actually going to be getting the Blessing effect on it as well, right? So the 5th Epiphany and the 2nd Epiphany are going to be really good one to use with Hyde Mari. Not the, I mean the 3rd Epiphany, okay? The 3rd and the 5th Epiphany, okay? So I'm definitely gonna, you know, try to get a build with these 2 right here and try to get, you know what I'm saying, something going on with them. Okay, another one is her Protect Us card right here is actually really good because again, and the other Epiphany I do like on her Protect Us card right here, which is her 2nd card right here, is the 4th Epiphany, was the one that lets you draw 1, and if that card is a Blessing card, add 1 draw, right? So this is gonna be really good, you know, to let you draw like a bunch of cards, right? But they do, there's a downside, which is where they have to have a Blessing on them, okay, in order to get that add 1 draw effect, okay. But outside of that, it's actually a really good card to let you draw a bunch of times, okay. And it's a 0 cost as well, which is freaking amazing, right? So yeah, she's really good. She's not, of course, she's not gonna be as good of like a draw support as Veronica. Veronica is absolutely broken, right? So you know, she doesn't compare with Veronica, but she does have a lot of draw potential, which I do like, right? So I do like this for the Epiphany effect right here. The other one is her, you know what I'm saying, this one right here, right? The 2nd Epiphany, where it says the next 2 times 0 card out of hand, draw 1 Blessing card. This is actually pretty cool, right? So if you have a bunch of her creation like Teddy and you know what I'm saying, the Doggy and Teddy card on hand, right, you are actually going to be able to draw Blessing card, right? So the next 2 times, right, 0 card out of hand, draw 1 Blessing card, right? So it's pretty cool, right? Again, it doesn't have to be the Teddy and the Doggy cards, right? Any card that got like 0 cost on them, this will actually trigger this effect as well, right? So the next 2 times 0 card out of hand, right? Draw 1 Blessing card. It's actually pretty cool as well. I don't like the 3rd Epiphany because again, there's a downside where it increases the cost of those cards, right? It's kind of annoying, right? So, but if you guys don't mind like the gambling side of this thing, that it's actually pretty good, right? This makes her close to like a draw support as Veronica, right? Because getting that draw 3 is actually insane, right? That's a lot of draw potential, so it's actually really good. But the downside is, of course, it will increase the cost of those cards by from 0 to 2, right? So yeah, you could potentially pull like a 2 cost card, right? So yeah, it's not going to be as effective, but it's a pretty decent right here. And then for the Friends from Fairy Tale, the one Epiphany I do like about this one is the create 4 doggy pack and drop out, right? So that is going to be one of those effects that I'm actually planning to go for with Hyde Mari, okay? Because the reason I'm saying the doggy pack one is because the doggy pack version of the creation cards actually have a linked and coitus effect on. So if you look at her creation cards right here, okay, there are 2 creation cards she's able to do, right? The Doggy and the Teddy, right? So if you look at the Doggy pack version, what it does, it have a linked and a coitus effect, which is amazing, especially with Hyde Mari, okay? This is what I'm actually very excited to try her with like Hyde Mari with this build, okay? So what this does is it's gonna be doing 240% defense based damage, right? And it will increase the damage amount by 50% for each Doggy linked before activation, right? This is amazing right here, okay? So the strat behind this is the doggy pack build this. So if I went with the third epiphany right here, okay, that lets me create 4 doggy packs in the draw pile, and I'm able to draw all 4 of them out of the draw pile, right? And they are on hand. They're gonna be linked already with hide Maricardus, right? And what ends up happening is because I have 4 of them linked already, it's going to be increasing the damage of these doggy pack cards, okay? So and then when we activate hide Maricardus, these the doggy pack cards also activate, and then we're going to be doing crazy amount of damage with Adelheid as well, right? So I think this is a really good one, okay? I definitely like this one, right? Especially, right? I think this is going to be really good with this effect right here, right? The one that lets me select and draw from draw pile, right? Then apply blessing to those cards, right? So it's gonna be really good for with this specific card right here, because again, I'll be able to select those the doggy pack cards using this card, and then I'll draw them on hand and then link them together and then activate them with Hidemar, and it's just nuke, right? So it's gonna be a really good effect right here, okay? Especially with Hidemar. Okay, I'm very, very excited to try her with Hidemar. I'm not gonna lie, right? And another amazing epiphany I like with Hidemar is, of course, the truth behind the story. What like for epiphany, what it does is it's a Quetus card, which is amazing, right, for Hidemar, and it will do 480% defense-based damage, right, and it will increase damage amount by 30% for each blessing card in hand, which is amazing, because all of our doggy pack cards, they're gonna be blessing cards, okay? So if I'm able to draw all these 4 doggy pack cards on hand, that's going to be adding a 30% damage modifier onto this truth behind the story card, okay? And then this is going to be your big nuking card right here, okay? For Adelheid, okay? So if you want to use, if I want to use Adelheid as like a DPS card, right? This is going to be one of the best way to use to activate, right? To make her like a DPS card with like Hidemar and stuff like that. So very, very good right here. And another thing is like for all like the like counter attack user players right here, this is how you're gonna be turning Adelheid into a counter attack unit, okay? So what the fourth epiphany of the Friends from Fairytale does is it will create 1 Teddy. When Teddy is used, 1 counter attack, and for 1 turn retain counter attack, right? So that's one way to you guys can build her as a counter attack. But the problem is this her only way of gaining a counter attack, okay? Outside of like personal cards and stuff like that, just based on her kit, this is the only way she's able to get a counter attack effect on her kit, okay? So it's not going to be super effective with a counter team, okay? Unfortunately, right? So I think this is not going to be worth it, okay? If you I don't think you guys should be building her with a counter attack team, because it's not going to work, okay? It's not going to be as effective as somebody like let's say like 9, right? 9 she already have a built-in counter attack on all of her cards pretty much, and she's usable as a counter attack unit, right? Same with Calliope, right? You could use her as a counter attack unit, right? With like neutral cards and with her kit as well, right? So it's pretty good, right? But for Adelheid, it's not super effective, okay? Because this is her only way of gaining a counter attack effect on her. So I don't know, right? People will make it work somehow, I don't know, but we'll see. But for me, it's not worth using her as a counter attack unit, okay? I think her main role is to be like a sub DPS character with like a Hidemar, or a dedicated like shielder Vanguard character, okay? That's also able to let you draw cards and stuff like that, right? So she's very versatile. I like how she works, okay? The other one I do like, I do want to try a build with is, of course, the first epiphany that lets you create 1 doggy and then plus 20% damage amount to doggies for every 1 blessing card in possession, right? And this thing stacks up to 15%, right? 15 cards, right? Up to like 15 cards. So this is gonna be really good as well, right? If your doggy card if you want the doggy card to hit decently hard, it's actually a pretty cool effect right here, okay? So definitely you guys can get a build with that. But I definitely want to try her with this specific build right here, okay? The create 4 doggy packs and draw pile, and then with the truth behind story for the funny, right? Just to make her do insane damage with Hidemar, okay? I think she's gonna be really good with Hidemar, which I do like, okay? Of course, you have the one that lets you create the Doggy Morphed version. Doggy Morphed one is this card right here. What it does is it's a haste blessing card, and what it does is it will do 108 defense-based damage, and they would do it would hit 4 times, which is actually pretty decent. And then when an attack card is activated, change this card to Teddy Morphed. Okay, this the Teddy Morphed and the Doggy Morphed, they could actually interchange. Okay, so the Teddy Morph can't turn into the Doggy Morphed, and the Doggy Morphed can turn into the Teddy Morphed. Okay, so you guys can bounce between the two in order to activate them. Okay, and if you look at the Teddy Morphed version, right, it's the same thing, right? Haste Blessing card similar to the Doggy Morphed, but it will give you a shield, right? Look at this, bro. The shield amounts are insane on Adelheid. Okay, 360% shield. That is crazy, man. And they will do 3 damage reduction on top of the shield, which is crazy. So you're gonna be taking like pretty much 0 damage. Okay, if you have you are able to use this Teddy Morph multiple times. Okay, this is actually broken. Okay, and then when a skill card is activated, change this card to Doggy Morphed. Okay, so every time, so the same thing, right? With the Doggy Morphed, when a skill card is used, like when an attack card is used, you are actually able to change the Doggy Morphed into Teddy Morphed. But for the Teddy Morphed version, when a skill card, right, instead of attack card, it's a skill card. Okay, so when a skill card is used, this turns into the Doggy Morphed version. Okay, so yeah, if you guys are going for the Doggy Morphed version of the Adelheid build, definitely, man, I think the Teddy Morphed version is way better. Okay, getting that 360% shield is actually insane, plus the 3 damage reduction, like it's broken. Okay, so yeah, I think the Teddy Morphed version is amazing. But yeah, the Doggy Pack version is specifically for like somebody for Hydemari. Okay, yeah, if you just want to use it with Hydemari, the Doggy Pack version is actually the best one. Okay, because again, it does have a linked and Coitus effect on it as well, right? So very, of course, these creations are basic, right? For example, the creation without any of the Pack Morphed effects, it just does 72% defense base damage, and it will hit 4 times. Right, pretty simple. And then you got the Teddy version, that's like the basic creation version, is a 240 shield with a 2 damage reduction, right? So yeah, the Teddy version is amazing, right? It's absolutely broken. Okay, and yeah, her creations are pretty interesting, I'm not gonna lie. Of course, we got her partner right here, which is like the Dream Woven Prison is the passive, and what does it will increase the assigned combat defense by 16 up to 24%, which is actually pretty cool. And then when a card with the blessing effect applied by the assigned combatant is used, fix the heal. This is for Adelheid specifically. She doesn't have a lot of healing capability. She is mostly focused on shielding cards. Okay, but she does have healing capability on her ultimate. But if you have her partner, you're gonna have another source of healing. Okay, in her kit. Right, so this is pretty cool partner, I'm not gonna lie. And then it says when the assigned combatant blessing card is used, allies gain 1 prism effect. Okay, max 4 stack, so you get up to 4 prism stacks right here. Okay, and this prism stack is actually pretty cool, as it will increase damage amount of attack card and shield gain amount of skill cards by 5 up to 10%. That's pretty good effect. And then you got the ego manifestation. This is one of these are some of my favorite type of like ego manifestation for partners. What it does, it will give you 200% shield, which is actually pretty big, and then it will let you select and draw 2 blessing cards from draw pile. That is amazing, especially with the Doggy Pack build I mentioned. Okay, because with the Doggy Pack build, with the right funny the card, right, this card right here, right, is a friend from Fairytale Started Funny. It will create the 4 Doggy Packs in the draw pile. But if I have her partner, I'm actually able to draw at least 2 of these guys, right, 2 of the draw pack, the Doggy Pack cards out, right, so they could be on my hand and get linked, right? So her partner is amazing for my build specifically, right? The build I'm planning to get for her. Okay, so yeah, I'm actually kind of excited about her, and especially I want to try her with Hydemari. I think it's gonna be really good. She's gonna be really good with Hydemari, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so yeah, just a quick like yapping about like a build I was thinking of like getting Adelheid to work really well with Adelheid. Okay, I mean to work really well with like Hydemari. Okay, so yeah, I'm actually excited to try this, I'm not gonna lie, right? Of course, we got her ego manifestation, which are like her ego manifestation are actually pretty good. Of course, her Garden of Secret card, that it cannot get any epiphanies. Okay, so it's just you just get the base version right here that will give you, it's a unique card, so it will give you 240% shield, and then every turn it's actually able to retain the 25% shield. Okay, so yeah, as you guys know, right, 25% shield retained. So every time, yeah, you are able to retain that shield amount. Okay, the 25%, right? So it's nothing crazy, but it's actually really good for like shielding, right? So very good right here. But if you look at her dupes right here, I'm not gonna go through this, but personally, right, her dupe one dupe 2 and dupe 4 are absolutely broken, okay? The reason I say this is, like, look at this, her dupe 4, okay? At the start of the battle, apply a blessing to any number of cards in hand. That is amazing right here, okay? This is pretty much, if you this makes it a lot easier to get blessing cards right from the get-go, right? Okay, okay, because again, it's at the start of the battle. Of course, it's not going to be at every turn. It's only you're only going to get this effect once, okay, because at the start of the battle. But starting the fight with like a bunch of blessing cards on hand is amazing, okay? So this is very, very good right here, okay? So if you guys really like Adelheid, I think, and planning to go for like dupes on her, definitely man, going up to dupe 4 is going to be important, okay? It will make it a lot easier to play her as well, okay? This is amazing right here. And her dupe 2 right here, what it does is gains the Bliss of Dreams effect for each blessing Adelheid applies or creates. This is amazing. Of course, this create effect also applies to all of her creation cards, okay? Her the doggy and teddy cards, okay? So every time she create them, she's actually gaining that Bliss of Dreams effect, okay? And then as the start of the battle, gains the Bliss of, look at this, right? As the start of the battle, gains the Bliss of Dream effect for each blessing card in possession. That is also amazing. And what this Bliss of Dream does is it will increase damage amount of allies by 3%, max 10 stack. Okay, this is going to be a 30% damage increase for everyone, okay? This is an amazing effect right here. And then another thing I do like is her dupe 1 for the Garden of Sacred card, decrease cost by 1 and add 100% shield gain amount. That is amazing as well, because again, getting that 100% multiplier is amazing. It pretty much doubles the effect of your shield gain amount, right? So you're gonna be getting even more bigger shield, okay? So yeah, so her dupe 1, dupe 2, and dupe 4 are actually amazing, okay? Of course, her Garden of Secret card is this right here that can't negate any funny. Yeah, that's amazing, right? Getting that 240% shield, but if you have the dupe 1, this is gonna be one fat ass shield you're gonna get from this, okay? So it's amazing. For a 0 cost card, it's actually broken, okay? So her dupe 1 is very, very good. Anyways, guys, let me know what kind of build you guys are planning to go for Adelheid, okay? And of course, let me know what kind of unit you guys are planning to use with, okay? I think she's going to be very versatile Vanguard character that's also able to draw, okay? So we don't have a lot of Vanguard cards that are actually able to draw other combat cards and stuff like that, so this is amazing right here, okay? But yeah, definitely, man, very excited for her, especially very excited to try her with Hyde Mario, okay? Anyways, thank you for watching, and of course, don't forget to like and subscribe, and of course, don't forget to farm your resources, okay? For Tenebria and Fae and stuff like that, okay? Anyways, bye-bye, see you guys in the next video, and bye.